Dr. Nicole Lindsay.
And I'm Dr. Brian Jeanette.
And we are back in balance. And today we are talking to you about breathing and your brain.
Right. A lot of times people think about breathing as just something that we do automatically, right? We do it automatically, not to think about it, so it's not important. It's not important. My body breathes how it breathes. But the more that we actually consciously control the way that we breathe, the more that we are conscious about whether we're breathing through our nose, breathing through our mouth, or breathing through our chest, or breathing through our diaphragm, can have a really large physiological impact on our body.
Yes, and we actually breathe quite a bit, 23,000 times a day. We are taking air in and exhaling it out throughout the day, most of the time without even thinking about it.
Absolutely. And you think because we do it 23, 24, 25,000 times a day, that it'd be something that humans are really very good at. But the truth is that we're not. And poor breathing and poor breathing techniques can lead to very serious health consequences down the road.
Yeah, and some of those problems are sleep apnea. It's no surprise that almost, I don't know what the percentage of adults now needing CPAP machines to sleep with. It's astonishing how many people get diagnosed with that.
Right, it's just those stats are just going up. And not only do we get diagnosed with sleep apnea, where we have a CPAP machine, but we have restless sleep. We have inability to insomnia, right? So you can't fall asleep. And then when you do fall asleep, you're snoring. When you snore, you're not getting oxygen in, oxygen out. And what that does is, we see it all the time here in practice. We'll get somebody that comes in and says, I have numbness and tingling in my feet, and I've had pins and needles on the bottom of my feet for 3 years now, and the doctors just diagnosed me with neuropathy, right? And that's just kind of this catch-all term for nerve damage in the legs. Well, how does that happen? One of the main causes of neuropathy in the hands and the feet is poor sleep. You're not getting enough oxygen in to your body. If you don't get enough oxygen in, your cells and other tissues are going to die. And it's going to start at the very farthest place in your body, your toes and your feet. Or sorry, your toes and your hands.
Another symptom are your sinuses, having your sinuses inflamed all the time, whether it's
No, but I have allergies, so it's not my fault. Yeah.
There's that too, just having allergies, just not being able to breathe through your nose. All of this and more is related to how you're breathing and breathing improperly. So let's talk about that. What is the most common way that people are breathing that is not actually healthy for us?
Probably the most common way is breathing through your mouth.
Yes. So mouth breathers. This is for you. This part of
you know who you are.
Yeah, so some of the signs that you are a mouth breather, well, number one, you have sinus problems. You have trouble breathing through your nose. You wake up with a dry mouth.
Bad breath is another one.
Yes, a lot of dental issues. A lot of bacteria can grow on your teeth when you're all night long.
Right.
Our snorers, if you snore, you are probably a mouth breather. So
if you snore, you are 100% a mouth breather. And like I made the joke earlier about having allergies and I can't breathe through my nose, and Dr. Nicole just touched on congestion in your nasal passages. If you don't use your nasal passages, your body's not going to want to keep them around. Your body will focus on other areas of the body that you're actively using more than your nose. So it's going to take energy away from keeping your nose open and put it towards something else. So if you continue to practice breathing through your nose, you're going to get better at it.
Yeah,
just
we're
like
going to
anything.
talk about that. We're going to teach you how to do that in a few minutes. But one thing that I think is really interesting is you can change this. Your nasal bones are growing well into your 70s and beyond. Unlike other areas of your body, your facial bones, specifically the bones of your nasal cavities, they are growing faster. And if you, like Dr. Brian said, you're not forcing air through there constantly, if you're not chewing food, if you're eating a lot of soft food and really cooked food, you're not using your jaw muscles and not allowing those sinus cavities to move as well, then you're not building bone. And therefore, all the air that you're taking in needs to be filtered. There's a process. There's a reason why we have this process, these turbinates, this whole filtering system going on in our sinuses, because every bit of air that you breathe in, whether it has pollen in it, germs, viruses, bacteria, has to be filtered through those sinuses to protect you. It's one of your first lines of defense. And a lot of sicknesses start right here in your nose, in your nasal passages, in your sinuses. I'm talking flu. Many different serious conditions start right here. So we need to be bringing air through our nose, not our mouth, so that our nose, our nasal passages, our sinuses can filter, do what they need to do to protect you.
Right. Our mouth is meant for water, swallowing water, and food consumption. Starbucks, coffee, getting coffee in there. It's meant to help sustain us in life with nutrients, right? And the nose is meant to help sustain us in life with getting oxygen in and getting that CO2 out.
Yes. So these are we're just scratching the surface. I mean, there's a really good book that we can recommend. It is called Breath by James Nestor. If you want to know more about this topic, we're going to give you the highlights here, but very, very important topic. We need to be breathing through our nose. Now, the other thing that we want to do when we take air in is not just take it to our chest, but we want to take it all the way down so that we can actually exercise our diaphragm and take that breath deep into our belly and become more of an abdominal breather as opposed to a chest breather.
Right. And I think really most people have heard of their diaphragm. They know what their diaphragm is. They know it's for breathing, but we forget, just like any muscle, if we don't use it, it's going to become weak. It's going to become inhibited, and it's not going to function like it should. So we instinctively take this big breath through our chest. We take this big breath through our chest, and our shoulders rise and our head gets scrunched down. And then that's a big reason why patients come to see us, because now they have neck tension, they have shoulder tension, they get headaches, and it's from breathing improperly.
Yeah, and it all ties together. So we will be helping you address your breathing patterns and finding out if you are in fact a mouth breather versus a nasal breather and helping you to correct that. One of the simple tests that you can do right now at home is get a mirror and put that mirror right here and breathe. Take just a couple breaths, and if you see it fog on the underside, you know you're a mouth breather. And if you see it fog on the upside, then you're breathing from your nose. So very simple way you can test that if you don't know. Most of you know, but if you want to know for sure, that's a very simple thing you can do. I'm specifically speaking about your brain and mouth breathing and nasal breathing. What studies are showing, and I find this very interesting, is that mouth breathers, they actually have less gray matter in their brain. And for those of you that haven't studied the brain, or it's been a while, your gray matter is where emotions, memory, and making decision making, that's where that takes place, is the gray matter of your brain. So breathing through your mouth can actually affect this part of your brain. And I don't know about you, but I need I need help in that area.
I need all the brain cells and all the gray matter that I can get. One of the things that we know about this is take our five senses. You know, our test. What am I trying to say? Taste, touch.
You're merging them all together.
I know. You know, I'm just trying to skip steps. And then our sense of smell. All of our sense of smell is our only sense. One that goes through our nose, obviously, right? But it is our only scent that goes directly to our brain. Those nerves get embedded directly into our brain. Every other sense that we have in our body, whether it's taste or whether it's touch, whether it's hearing, does not go directly to our brain. It goes to our brainstem, it goes to our spinal cord, then to our brainstem, then to our brain. Your nose is the only sense that is directly tied to your brain with no stops, no connections, no twisting and turning.
Which is kind of frightening,
Yeah.
because that shows you how powerful your breath is if it's done properly or improperly. So learning how to breathe properly, it's going to help you regulate your body processes, help you reduce your stress. If it's done properly, it's going to make you a healthier person. It's going to help you hold your adjustments if you're a chiropractic patient. So we're going to give you 6 steps, some things that you can work on right now to start getting a better pattern. And then we'll give you a breathing exercise technique that you can start doing as well.
So the first step that we want to just hit home again is shut your mouth.
Shut it.
Shut it. Shut your mouth. Close your lips. Keep your lips gently pursed together or gently touching while you're breathing. That's going to force that air. That's going to force you to breathe through your nose. And again, a lot of us that deal with congestion or deviated septums or X or Y or Z, this isn't going to be something that you can just instantly do right away. This is going to be something that you have to train your body to do, just like exercise, just like eating healthy,
Yes.
just like creating habits of brushing your teeth, of going to bed at a certain time. Our entire life and our entire body runs and gets ruled by habits. So step 1,
Shut your mouth.
shut your mouth.
Step 2 is to breathe through your nose. Breathe through your nose. So if you find that you wake up, you have a dry mouth day after day, you've identified your mouth breather, here's something simple that you can do, is actually tape your mouth shut at night. I know it sounds silly, but it's not. With a piece of electrical tape, just one little strip right here. You can actually buy tape specifically for this called mouth strips, but electrical tape will work fine. One little piece here. In fact, Dr. Brian's friend, he went camping recently. Hopefully your friend's not watching this, don't want to call him out, but he snored so much so that
I walked away.
I had to go in his
sleep.
car.
Yeah, I had to go sleep in my car. And he was such a loud snorer that it was just such a joke that how loud his snoring was. And so I told him about this book that we were reading, and I told him about all the stuff, and he listened to the book. The book's only about 7.5 hours on tape. Like we did Audible. And he's like, man, that's so interesting. That's really cool. So he downloaded a sleep tracker that tracks his snoring. First night, he snored for 3 hours and 31 minutes. Of the 3 hours and 31 minutes, 1 hour and 29 minutes was designated as epic snoring, which is what I assume to be incredibly loud snoring.
Yeah, epic.
He then went out and bought surgical tape. He just went to CVS and bought a little tiny... Taped his mouth shut, just put it over there. By the third night, he went from 1 hour and 29 minutes of epic snoring to 0 minutes of epic snoring.
Very cool. So in 3 nights of doing that, he went down that much.
Yeah.
So that's step number 2 is breathe through your nose, and if you need to practice, mouth taping, do it.
Mm-hmm.
What have you got to lose besides, kicking your wife out of bed?
Yeah, rip it off. Step number 3 that we want to go through is just as important as inhaling, it's exhaling. Oftentimes we think about breathing in because we get this air starvation or air hunger, but we can't get enough air in if we don't have all the air expelled from our lungs. So exhaling all of our air.
Yes. So the amount of your inhale, we always focus on the inhale, and I think this is important to say because whenever I have thought about breathing, it was always big, deep breath in, right? We always focused on the inhale, but the exhale has been overlooked, and the exhale is just as important. So the amount of exhale needs to equal or be longer than your inhale. And why is this? Well, number 1, because the exhale forces you to use your diaphragm. Your diaphragm is actually considered your second heart. So when you use your diaphragm properly, you're easing the burden on your cardiovascular system, which is really important if you want to maintain a healthy heart. So exhale, make sure you exhale.
Right. Number 4 that we want to do is chew. let's move away from our smoothies and our protein shakes and our mega mocha choca whatever lattes, and get towards eating real solid food. You eat this real solid food, you're going to strengthen the jaw, you're going to strengthen the muscles, you're going to strengthen the bones in the jaw, the bones in the face, and you're going to strengthen the muscles that are surrounding your jaw and surrounding your neck. When we do this, we're actually helping to reinforce the bone structure in the nose to get better air in and out of your nose.
Yes, exactly. Step number 5 is to practice holding your breath. This is important because we do have control of our breath. And once you really learn how to control it more, you can utilize it to help yourself more. You can utilize it to relax. You can utilize it to sleep better, to correct some health problems that you have. So holding your breath, and we're going to teach you some of this here in just a minute, will actually give you the ability to have more control of your breath.
Right. Anybody that either exercises really consistently, or on the flip side of that, doesn't exercise consistently and feels like they get out of breath just by talking, just by walking, just by going up the stairs, the ability to do more with less air is what this is all about.
Absolutely.
If you have to take these shallow, quick breaths just by walking up the stairs, then we have a problem there, right? If you get out of breath just by walking from your car into your house, your car into the grocery store, around the grocery store, we have a problem there. So we have to work on those breathing patterns with that to be able to go farther, do more with less.
Yeah. The same. We've been talking with patients about breathing, and oftentimes we'll hear the objection, well, I've got sinus problems and I just can't breathe through my nose. And it's almost like the conversation stops there. Yeah. And we're here to tell you that this is for you. This Facebook Live, all about breathing, is so that you can correct your sinus problems. Mm-hmm. So that can change. Your nasal cavities can change. And that's what this is all about.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're not suggesting that you're going to breathe through your nose 24/7, 365, like starting from day one. Just like anything, this takes training, this takes practice.
Yes.
Nothing in the world that matters to the human body happens overnight.
No.
Right? Nothing important,
nothing of virtue.
Yeah. Nothing that's healthy for us happens overnight. Right?
Yeah. So that brings us to step number 6. That is how you breathe really does matter. So what we want to do is practice a 5-second inhale with a 5-second exhale, and count as you breathe in like this. Doing this for just a few minutes a day, maybe you get really good at it and you want to do it for a full hour. However long you want to do this, practice how you breathe, because it really does matter.
So now we want to go over some different breathing techniques for you, some different breathing patterns that you can employ to, one, either kind of turn your parasympathetic system off, like your fight or flight system off, and turn your parasympathetic system on, that rest and digest, right? Or if you want to do the opposite, you kind of want to get psyched up for the day, you got something big going on, you got a presentation that you have to prepare for, right? All these different breathing techniques can do multiple things for the body. So we're going to show you six or seven very, very common ones.
Yeah.
So this first one that we want to show you is something called alternating nostril breathing, right? So this helps to improve your lung function. This helps to improve your heart rate, your blood pressure, and then helps to kind of lower your stress system overall.
All of that with just breathing.
It's
really
it's
cool.
Really crazy. And there's so many factors that go into this, with where your lungs sit, the receptors that we have, some of the cells that we have in our lungs, those are tied to the cells and receptors in our throat. Those are tied to cells and receptors to our brain. So there is like a lot of science behind this, and there's a lot of actual legitimate physiological connection and change that takes place just by breathing. But we think that breathing is just too simple because it's so simple. Like, that doesn't work. I need something super complex where I don't understand
Mhm.
it, and I just need somebody to tell me what to do. But that's not always the case.
No, it's
right?
not. It's not. So this is how alternate nostril breathing is done. You can do it all with one hand. You're going to start by closing your left nostril first. You're going to inhale through your right nostril, and you're going to count to 5. You're going to do it on nice, because we're always going to breathe that way, right? Because that matters. So 5-second inhale in. At the top of the breath, you're going to pinch off the right, and just for a second, you're going to hold your nose. Then you're going to release the left nostril, and you're going to exhale and count to 5, right? Make that a really long, equal the inhale with the exhale. At the end of the exhale, you're going to pinch both nostrils again and just hold that for a second. And then you're going to alternate. Then you're going to open up the right nostril, and you're going to inhale through that nostril, count of 5, hold it at the top, exhale, hold it at the bottom, and keep alternating. And you can do this 5 to 10 minutes a day. That's all. That's all you need to do. Should we do a pattern of this?
We can do a pattern of this. Yes, yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so do it with us. Cover the left nostril, and we're going to inhale through the right nostril. Hold both nostrils. Open up the left. Exhale. Hold both nostrils. Open up the left nostril. Now we're going to inhale. Hold both nostrils. Open up the right nostril. Exhale. That's how it's done.
Now, no matter who you are, one of your nostrils will feel harder or more congested to go through than the other one. That's absolutely normal. The tissue in our nose is made up of very excitatory tissue, so it expands and contracts. The more air, the more oxygen we get up into our nose, the more nitric oxide that's actually going to be released, which is a very vasodilating, which is going to help increase blood flow to the rest of our body. It's going to help increase blood flow to our mouth, our face, our brain, and then all the way down through our body as well. So it's normal to have one feel more congested than the other.
Yes. Just with those 2 breaths, I mean, I started to sit more erect. I started to feel just more energized. I don't know about you, but pretty powerful stuff. The second technique we want to show you is called breathing coordination. Now with this one, you're going to inhale. At the top of your breath, you're going to count to 10. And then you're going to exhale. As you feel like you're losing your breath, you want to keep counting the sequence, keep counting to 10 until it's a whisper, until you feel like you don't have any breath left. And just keep repeating 1 through 10, 1 through 10 as you're exhaling all the way out. And you're going to repeat this pattern about 10 times. So let's practice this, okay? So we're going to inhale. Count to 10. Exhale while counting to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like that. So that is number 2.
The third technique that we want to go over today is it's called the Buteyko breathing technique. And this is actually going to teach you how to train the body to be in line with its metabolic needs, right? So a lot of times we over breathe. We don't need as much oxygen, and if we don't need that much oxygen, our body's not capable of using it and processing it, and then we have to blow it out. And so it's extra wasted energy with that. So the purpose of this is to help to control your pulse. So it's best, and with all of these, I actually like to have like a stopwatch or like a clock with a second hand on, so I don't have to worry about counting. I can, see the clock, see the second hand spinning on that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a stopwatch handy. I'm going to inhale gently through my nose, and then I'm going to hold. I'm actually going to hold while I'm pinching both nostrils, just so I don't cheat, because I'm going to keep my mouth closed. I'm going to pinch through my nostrils. And I'm going to start the stopwatch. I'm actually going to hold my breath until I feel that hunger or starvation. It's going to be about, hopefully it's somewhere around 45 seconds to 1 minute. So the longer, the better. And then you can repeat this several times a day in order to get better and to practice more with that.
Exactly. The next one is called the conscious breathing anchor. So what you're going to do is imagine that there is an anchor sinking lower and lower and lower in your body. And you're going to do this while you are exhaling. And count to 6 on the exhale. So we're going to take it a little bit longer. You're going to count to 3 on the inhale. So you'll start by inhaling 1, 2, 3, and then you'll exhale, counting to 6, envisioning this anchor as you exhale, all the way down, going deeper, 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 down to your belly. And repeat this at least 3 times when you practice this one.
The next technique that we want to talk about is how to really decongest your nose, right? So what we want to do is we want to sit up and we want to exhale everything. When we exhale everything out, you're going to take 2 fingers, you're going to pinch your nose. When you pinch your nose at the complete bottom of that exhalation, you're either going to shake your head side to side, or you're going to shake your head up and down. And when you do that, you're going to unpinch your nose and you're going to breathe through your nose. And you should be able to take a longer breath through your nose. If your nose still feels decongested on that one inhale and exhale, you're going to perform this again. We actually want to do this several times throughout 30 to 60 seconds. You're going to do this, you're going to wait 30 seconds in between each breath.
And if you feel like you need to cheat because your nose is that plugged up, you can breathe through pursed lips, but you don't want to make that a habit. You just want to help get some air in, but ultimately you want to be able to do it with your mouth completely shut.
Absolutely.
And the next one is yogic breathing. If you've ever done a yoga class, you may have done this. The instructor may have taken you through this type. You can do this sitting in a chair or cross-legged on the floor. And you're going to put one hand over your belly button and you're going to breathe in. You're going to inhale really deep into your belly and exhale out, and repeat that 3 times. And what you're looking for is movement. You want to feel your hand moving up and down so that you know that the air is getting deep down into your belly. Then you want to move your hand up to your rib cage and you want to do the same thing. Nice long breath in, and you want to feel your rib cage expanding, and then exhale out and do the same thing. Repeat that 3 times. Then you want to move your hand up to your collarbone up here, and you want to inhale into this area and feel that collarbone move, and exhale and repeat that 3 times. Then you want to connect all 3 areas in one breath, feeling as you inhale really deep, feeling your stomach, your ribs, your collarbone on the inhale, and then from the exhale, you want to feel the air from your collarbone, rib, and then deep into the stomach, moving and pushing that air out. And you want to repeat that process 10 times.
Good. The next technique that we want to talk about is called box breathing. Now, this is probably the most common breathing techniques that people have heard of. This is kind of all over the internet, and again, this is one of those that it's just so simple for everybody to do. Think of a box. We're going to inhale all the way across, then we're going to hold it, then we're going to exhale, and then we're gonna hold it, right? The best way to do this is actually for 5.5 seconds each, but based on you as an individual, based on how you're able to breathe and your ability to breathe, you can choose to do different time domains. For us, we can do 4 seconds. So the way that we want to do this, again, everything is through the nose. I'm going to breathe in through the nose. I'm going to hold it for 4 seconds. I'm going to breathe out for 4 seconds. And I'm going to hold that for 4 seconds. And I'm going to repeat this process. You can repeat this process as many times as you want to. You can do it for 1 minute, you can do it for 5 minutes, you can do it for 10 minutes. This is also something that you can practice even as long as up to several hours to an entire day.
Yes, really good to use to calm yourself in stressful situations. Very helpful there. The next one is called conscious breathing, specifically for carbon dioxide training. So we want to work on extending your exhale to increase the amount of carbon dioxide that you are exhaling. This improves your circulation and helps you to relax too. Very simple. You inhale to the count of 3, and then you exhale to the count of 9. So when you expand your exhalation, you're getting more carbon dioxide out of your body. And then you basically repeat that and continue as long as you can. Inhaling to the count of 3, exhaling to the count of 9.
Okay. The next breathing pattern that we want to talk about is the 4-7-8 breathing. This is one of these breathing techniques that is designed to place your body into like an extreme state of relaxation. So you're going to inhale for 4 seconds, you're going to hold for 7, and then you're going to exhale for 8 seconds. And this is when people in meditation that you see them actually kind of talking to themselves or making noises, because when you exhale, you're going to actually try and push out the air and making this like whooshing sound. So we're going to inhale for 4, hold, and then when you exhale, you're actually going to try and make a whooshing sound through your nose. You're going to do that for 8 seconds. So you can just continuously cycle through this for as long as you need to meditate. I would start out doing this for 2 to 3 minutes and then working your way up to several minutes.
So there you have it. We gave you the reasons why we need to be breathing through our nose and properly breathing for brain health, overall health. We gave you 6 steps to start becoming a better breather. And then we gave you 8 different breathing techniques. So what we encourage you to do is try them all. Try them all. Pick one that you really can feel yourself doing on a regular basis, and then practice it.
Love it.
And see your health change as a result.
Yeah. You're going to feel more mental clarity. You're not going to feel like you're sighing as much. You're not going to feel like you have to yawn as much. You get a deep breath. So many different positive things are gonna happen.
Absolutely. So as always, thank you for watching. If you have any questions about breathing, chiropractic care, just reach out to us and we'll be happy to help. Have a good day, everybody.
Yeah.